Hello students, in our last lecture we have learned how to complete first and follow. Okay, so today we will learn what is predictive parser and how to solve a problem using a predictive parser. So there are a few steps used in a predictive parser. Step 1 says check out is there any left recursion in your grammar. If it is, then eliminate it. Okay, so first step is what? Eliminate the left recursion. Now what is left recursion and how to eliminate it we have already covered in the classroom. Second step says check whether left factoring is there. If it is there, then you have to perform left factoring. And third step says find the first and follow. Okay, now what is the meaning of left recursion? We have already learned that if we have a production rule is in the form of A gives you A alpha, means whatever the left hand side symbol, non-terminal symbol you have, if it is on the right hand side as a first symbol, means A gives you alpha, then it is a left recursion, so we have to eliminate it. Okay, and in order to eliminate it there is a fixed formula for it. So we have already learned what is left recursion. Then second step is what? Perform the left factoring. What is the meaning of left factoring? If you have a common expression, for example, if I have A gives you alpha beta and A gives you alpha gamma. Now here for capital A I have a two production rule. A gives me alpha beta, A gives you alpha gamma. So which factor is common over here? Alpha. So what left factoring says, जो भी common है उसे eliminate करो and perform another rule. Mean instead of writing this production rule, after eliminating a left factoring concept, you will write a new production rule which will be in the form of A gives you alpha A dash and then A dash will be equal to either beta or gamma. Means instead of this alpha, you keep as it is common, you will take it common. Instead of beta and gamma, you take A prime or A dash, and then this A dash will be equal to by. So this is a method to perform the left factoring. Okay, for your reference, just note down the formula how to eliminate a left recursion. So left recursion means if A gives you A alpha, means यहाँ पे भी कैपिटल A है और राइट हैंड साइड में भी स्टार्ट सिंबल कैपिटल A है, means there is a left recursion. So we have to eliminate it using a formula. If it is a left recursion, then eliminate it as beta A bar I'm not going to cover it in today's lecture because it is already taken in the classroom. Okay, but in a how to construct a predictive parser, we require these steps, so you have to remember it whenever the question is eliminate or obtain solve this example using a predictive parser. First step is eliminate the left recursion. How will you eliminate it? If a production rule is in the form of A gives you A alpha, matlab if left hand side ka non-terminal is available on the first variable on the right hand side, then it is a left recursion. And another production rule for same A is A gives you beta, then instead of this two production rule you have to rewrite a production rule in this format, that A gives you beta A prime or A dash, and then A dash will be equal to alpha, this alpha, A dash or epsilon. Okay, second step says perform left factoring, means check out whatever the production rules are given with respect to one non-terminal. If they have some common factor in it, then perform the left factoring. In this example, or this is a fixed formula, you have to remember like this, ki if A gives you alpha beta and A gives you alpha gamma, where alpha is common, so we will form left factoring like this. A gives you alpha A prime or A dash, and A dash will equal to beta and gamma. Okay, then third step is after eliminating left recursion and left factoring is find first and follow. So how to find first and follow, we have already learned it. Okay, so let's take this example. This is example, and these are the first and follow for the given example. We have already learned it. So steps 3 says find first and follow. Now once you get first and follow for everything, step 4 says construct the predictive parse table. Okay, so today I am going to teach you how to construct a predictive parse table. So let's learn it. Now you already have this table. Okay, so how to construct a predictive parse table? So there are a few rules to construct a predictive parse table. First step, you whatever the non-terminals and terminals given to you, on the basis of which you have to construct one table. Now in our example, how many non-terminals we have? E prime, T prime and F. Okay, and how many terminals we have? Terminal means जो भी capital में नहीं है वो सब terminal होते, means all the small alphabets and all the special symbols, all the operators are always considered as a terminal. So here plus is a terminal, epsilon is a terminal, star is a terminal, opening bracket is a terminal, closing bracket is a terminal, ID is a terminal. In addition to this, yesterday I told you whenever the symbol is a start symbol, you have to always add dollar in a follow of that start symbol. So dollar is again will be considered as one of the terminals. So now while constructing the table, what you will do, you will write all non-terminals as a row and all terminals as a column. Okay, so how many non-terminals we have in our example? It is E prime, it is E prime, T prime and F. So how many terminals you have in your example? So it is plus then into opening bracket, closing bracket, ID, epsilon and dollar should always be there. Okay, now once you construct this table, I will draw it like a table. Once you construct this table, what you have to do, you have to learn how to make an entry in this table. Okay, so now see your production rules. Now first production rule is E gives you TE dash. You have to add this production rule in the cell value of this particular table. Cell value means if I have this table, then the cell value E comma plus will be this portion. Okay, as it is a table. When I will make an entry over here, I will say it is a cell value for E comma star. Okay, for F comma plus means this will be a cell value for it. Okay, so in each and every cell value of a table, you have to add some production rule. Now which production rule we need to add? So first step says, or first rule says, if you have a production rule, let's say A gives you alpha B, where alpha is a terminal. Repeat, I am repeating my word. If alpha is a terminal, any production rule gives you alpha B, where alpha is a terminal, then you have to directly add this production rule in the cell value A comma alpha. Okay, add this production rule in the cell value A comma alpha. Getting it? Now check. In my example, is it terminal? No. Now E bar gives me plus TE dash. Yes, it is. This production rule is going to start, right hand side is going to start with terminal. So I will directly add this production rule, that is E prime gives you plus TE dash in a cell value E prime comma plus. So E prime comma plus में मेरा कौन सा production rule आ जाएगा? E gives me plus TE bar. Okay, now second rule says, if A gives you, let's say B alpha, where alpha can be anything or alpha terminal or non-terminal, but B is a non-terminal. मतलब एक non-terminal आपको दे रहा है, दूसरा non-terminal followed by anything, isn't it? So at that time what you have to do, you have to find out first of this B. Okay, if one non-terminal giving you another non-terminal followed by anything, whether terminal or non-terminal, then you have to add this production rule in the cell value A comma first of B, where you will add the terminal A comma first of B. Okay, now check it. In our example, E gives you TE dash. Okay, so here E is going to give you the production rule, or the right hand side of the production rule is going to start with non-terminal. So what you will do, you will add this production rule where first of T dekho. First of T is what? First of T is opening bracket and ID, and left hand side of your production rule is E. So if the production rule is E gives you TE dash, what you will do? E comma, as it is a non-terminal, you will check it first. So first of T, and first of T is what? It is comma and ID. Getting it? So how will you do it? You will add this production rule. E gives you TE dash in the field. कौन सा field? E comma opening bracket. You will add same production rule into E comma ID. Getting it? So E comma opening bracket, you will add this production rule, which is that E gives you TE dash, and E comma ID, you will add same production rule E comma ID. Now third production rule says, if any non-terminal gives you epsilon, okay, if any non-terminal gives you epsilon, then find out a follow of this A, okay, and add this production rule into that. Means in our example, if E dash gives you epsilon, okay, so we'll take E dash gives you epsilon. Find the follow of E dash. So E dash का follow क्या है? Dollar and closing bracket. I will show you. E dash का follow क्या है? Dollar and closing bracket. So as it is dollar and closing bracket, you will add this production rule. E dash gives you epsilon into a cell value, which is that cell value E dash dollar and E dash closing bracket. Okay, so E dash dollar, here it is. So I will add this production rule. E dash gives me epsilon, and second का the closing bracket. So here you will add E dash gives you epsilon. Clear? So these are the three rules in order to construct the predictive table or predictive parser table. What are those rules? If one non-terminal gives you right hand side, where right hand side is going to start with terminal, directly add that particular production rule in the cell value A comma alpha, where alpha is a terminal. If you have A gives you beta alpha or B alpha, where B is a non-terminal, they find out the first of B and add this production rule into the cell value, which is that cell value A comma first of B. If the third production rule is A gives you epsilon, then find out the follow of A and then add a production rule into that particular cell value, which is that cell value A comma जो भी follow है उसमें. So likewise we will complete our parse table for this given table. So what is it? We have already added it. Now here E prime gives you epsilon. We have already done it. Now T gives you FT dash. One non-terminal gives you another non-terminal, starting with another non-terminal. Okay, so what we will do, find out first of F. First of F is what? Opening bracket and ID, isn't it? So I will add this rule. T gives you FT dash into that cell value, which will have T comma opening bracket and T comma ID. Getting it? So I will add this production rule. T gives me FT dash into cell value which is that t comma first f चा first बघायचा. So f चा first is what? Opening bracket. Similarly t comma f ka first is t comma id. So in this two cell values I will add this production rule. So t comma opening bracket. So t comma opening bracket I will add this rule that t gives you ft prime and second was what? id. So t comma id I will add this production rule that t gives me ft prime. Okay, then next t dash gives me star ft. As it is started with terminal, directly we will add this rule into t dash or comma star के column में. So t dash comma star I will write t dash gives me star ft dash. Okay, then next t dash gives me epsilon. If it is a rule, find out follow of t dash. So follow of t dash is what? Plus dollar and closing bracket. So what I will do, I will add this rule that t dash gives me epsilon into t dash plus. So t dash plus I will add this rule which is that t dash gives me epsilon. Second follow का value क्या था? Dollar. So t dash gives me epsilon and third का value क्या था? Closing bracket. So closing bracket is here. So I will add t dash gives me epsilon. Okay. Now next rule is f gives me opening bracket e, where opening bracket is a terminal. As it is a terminal, I will directly write it in that rule. F gives me opening bracket e. Okay, and second is f gives me id. So id is again a rule, so I will write f gives me id. So likewise you will construct your predictive parse table. Okay, so now once you construct this predictive parse table, check out the entry in each and every cell. Now in this example, every cell has only one value, so you will say it is your LL1 parser. If there are more than one entry in a one cell value, then you will say it is a LLK parser. So in an exam, the question may be asked like this: check whether the given parser is LL1 parser or it is LLK parser. So what you will do, you will construct the table, and if every cell value has only one entry, then you will say it is LL1. If it has more than one entry, then you will say it is LLK. Okay. Now once you construct this table, next step is to check whether the string is going to accepted or not. See, by mistake यहाँ पे मैंने e gives you id लिखा था. Actually that production rule was e comma id. You have to add the production rule e gives you te dash. Okay, so I have just made that correction. So now take one string and we will check acceptance of that string using this example. So let's take one example. So now this is my predictive table and I am going to take the string id plus id. So how will you write it? You will write like this: stack, which is your input, and what action you will perform. Okay, initially top of the stack will be your initial stack symbol. So according to our rule, हमने जो example लिया उसमें e is a start symbol, so we will write e. What is the string given to you? id plus id. Okay, so you will take id plus id, end of the string you will show with dollar. Okay, now what you have to do, you have to perform an action. So check out e on id. Okay, so for checking it, you have to refer your predictive table. So check it, e on id. For production rule you are getting e gives you te prime. So you will write here e gives you te prime. Okay, now once you get this rule, what you will do, this e should get replaced with this te prime or te dash. So you will push this rule onto the stack. Okay, so now new production rule will be stack. Now instead of this e, आपको क्या लेना है? te prime. So whenever you will push it, आप लिखते वक्त उसे reverse order में लिखोगे e dash t, because left hand side symbol is t and we are going to do the processing of it, so we will write it on the top of the stack. Okay, now what is your string? id plus id and dollar. Okay, now check T on id in your production table. So T on id gives you ft prime, correct? So T gives you ft prime. So we will write here dollar e dash. Now what action you will perform? Insert it into an stack. Instead of T, you will write this rule again in a reverse manner. So it will be T dash F. Here it is id plus id and dollar. Now check F on id. So F on id, you will get F gives you id. So we'll write in action F gives you id. Okay. Now dollar E prime T prime F च्या ऐवजी कुठला रूल आहे id. It is again id plus id dollar. Now once you get id over here means if the top of the stack is a terminal and input alphabet is same terminal, then you will pop the element. So you will pop the element. So it will get popped. So what is remaining? E dash T dash plus id dollar. Okay, so now T dash on plus you have to check. So T dash on plus, what you get? T dash gives you epsilon. So write it, T dash gives you epsilon. Now epsilon means null, so we'll replace this T dash with epsilon. So what is remaining? E dash. Okay, now here it is plus id dollar. Now check E dash on plus. So E dash on plus, what you are getting? E gives you plus T E dash. So I have written it. E gives you plus T E dash. So it is dollar. Now instead of this E, I will insert this value. So it will be E dash T plus. Here it is plus id dollar. Okay. Now I plus plus will get pop. So we will write pop and remove. Okay. Now T on id. Check it out. T on id. T on id. So T on id gives you ft dash. Okay. So it will be E dash. So now this T on id, you are getting what value you are getting for T on id? It is f T dash. That T gives you this. So replace this T. It is not T bar. Okay, it's T. So it is dollar E prime T id x step. Now this T will be replaced with E dash T dash F and id. Now as you know, F on id is F gives you id only. Okay, so I will write here id dollar E dash T dash id. Now id will get replaced. Here it is dollar. Getting it? Now who is remaining? Only T dash and dollar. So we will check T dash on dollar. So T dash on dollar, you have an epsilon. So T dash gives you epsilon. Okay. So now put here epsilon. What is remaining? E dash. Again dollar is there. So dollar on E dash on dollar again gives you E dash epsilon. So replace it with epsilon. Who is remaining? Here it is dollar. Here it is dollar. So as the string is completely parsed, you will say yes, it is an accepted string. Okay, so this is how we will check acceptance of the given string. So I will repeat a predictive parser. In a predictive parser, step 1 is eliminate the left recursion. Check out is there any left factoring. If yes, perform the left factoring. Apply those formulas. Third step is compute first and follow. Once you compute first and follow, construct the predictive parse table. Once you construct the predictive parse table, check whether there are multiple entries in a cell value or not. If multiple entries are there, means it is LLK parser. If single entries are there, then it is LL1 parser. Once you get it, check the acceptance of the string. Okay, so today I will post one example based on it. Thank you.